What's really good? What's really good? What's really good? Welcome back to another episode of the Sanchez Show, Wednesday nights with the Sanchez Show. As always, I'm your host, Eric Sanchez, aka Legend of Two Games. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast. Shoot me a like, shoot me a comment, send over your questions, your comments. We're live tonight on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday night, man. I know I am. We got a lot to get into, though. We got week 12 of the NFL. We've got, obviously, NBA at this time. Got the Rockets and Cavs on in the background. We got the comment section already buzzing. Shout out to my brother Will Gordon. I know he'll be joining us shortly. And Trip Young may be joining us right before the end of the show on Wednesdays. We had to revamp some things. Shout out to my brothers, but I know they'll be joining. As always, though, we got picks tonight. We got the parlay that we expect to hit. Hope you guys is winning some money this weekend. I know last week we did not have a live. I had a family emergency. So I apologize. We wasn't able to go live, but we're back at it this week. Let's get to the comment section and see what we got going on. Who we got in here? I see Tito. I see Kyrie. I see Ron. Let's go right here. We'll start with Tito. He says Shedeur Sanders will start Sunday versus Raiders. Yeah, I saw the news became official. It was something I talked about on Monday where I said if the Browns, if this diagnosis of Dylan Gabriel having a concussion, if that's true and they're doing the right thing, he's going to sit out. NFL protocol now, with all the safety measures that they've taken, obviously prior issues with head injuries, CTE, brain injuries, understanding what multiple concussions can do to a person later in life. The NFL has been very cautious about letting guys back on the field a week after having a concussion. So Dylan Gabriel did suffer that concussion right towards the end of the first half of their game this week against the Ravens. Shedeur is going to get the start. It's one of the most anticipated starts of a rookie quarterback in quite some time for a number of reasons. Obviously, dating back to the draft, Shedeur was supposed to go in the first round. He did not go in the first round. There's been a lot of talk about his treatment from the Browns organization. Do they really want him? Is he getting a fair opportunity to display what he can do to show us why he was projected to be a first-round pick? I don't think he has. It's one of the things we're going to find out, though. As I mentioned on Sunday, I feel like Shedeur was in a very tough spot last week. One, he's not getting reps with the starting unit. It's been talked about. It's been highly discussed. It's no secret. So he's not getting reps with the starting unit. And then to come in halfway through the game when you're not part of that game plan is very difficult. Shout out to Cody Kessler, who's on Gil's Arena. And he made a great point that I didn't even think about. And this, again, we talk so much about the reps in practice and getting the rhythm with your team. But I thought Cody Kessler on Gil's Arena and I thought Jeff Saturday on First Take had two great points. I'll start with Cody Kessler. He mentioned Shedeur as the backup is running a lot of the scout team offense for the Browns defense. So he goes, a lot of what Shedeur is studying during the week as the scout team quarterback is really to help their defense and not really to focus on his own offense. So when you come into a game in that situation, and mind you, you're 30 plus plays in already, you're at a part of the playbook that Shedeur is probably not comfortable with from this week's preparation, right? It's a completely different mindset from when you are studying the playbook and you're looking at the 60 to 70 plays we may run this week and you come in with a grasp, as opposed to all week I've been running scout team offense. And now I'm thrust into a game where we're completely off script. We're calling plays that maybe I didn't run at all in practice. And again, I don't have the timing down with receivers. I don't have the opportunity to adjust my blocking because, again, I don't have rhythm with my offensive lineman. So that was one aspect. The other one was Jeff Saturday, and I thought this one was very telling, and it speaks to why the pass protection probably struggled for the Browns. As he mentioned, as an offensive lineman in those situations, your cadence and understanding the cadence of your quarterback is super important, right? You've got to know when he's obviously trying to, hard count, when he's actually about to snap the ball, understanding the rhythm of his cadence. And when you don't have that, sometimes as an offensive lineman, as opposed to you focus on the guy who's in front of you, you're paying attention to make sure the ball gets snapped. And if you look back at some of that footage, I thought it was, again, a great analysis by Jeff Saturday. When you look at some of the footage, the old linemen seem to step slow because they're not used to his cadence. So they're not anticipating the snap in the same way as if Dylan Gabriel was back there. So I thought those were two great takes. But this week, he gets a full week of practice. He gets an opportunity to work on his timing with his receivers. And so I think with those two things alone, we're going to see a better performance. 4 of 16 last week. Again, he didn't play well, but what would you expect from a rookie quarterback coming in midway through the game this late in the season when he's had no reps with the first team? It's something that's been talked about since the preseason. It was talked about after Joe Flacco was traded. It's a scenario that I think the Browns have completely butchered with Shador and Dylan Gabriel as well. I mean, I know we focusing on on Shador, and that's the talking point. But I think they did Dylan Gabriel fucked up too. If we can, call it what it is, because you had two rookie quarterbacks. You gave all the snaps to the veterans. It was Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett for most of the preseason getting the snaps with the ones. Then you trade Joe Flacco, you trade Kenny Pickett, so now you don't keep a veteran that either one of these young guys can actually reference and talk with to kind of get an understanding of what to expect week in, week out. You look at the good organizations and the way they bring along a quarterback, a lot of times you keep one, sometimes two veterans in that quarterback room to help the young man grasp the playbook, understand the defenses that he's going to see week to week, and then give him somebody to talk to in game so that when he comes to the bench after a possession, whether good or bad, he has somebody that he can speak to that now gives him a little bit of insight on what they also notice on play call by play call. Now, instead, you got two rookies trying to help each other. Neither one of them know what they're looking at. Neither one of them really understand the coverages they're seeing. They don't understand the disguises. They're not understanding the pass rush. There's so many things that goes into being a successful quarterback. The Browns have put both their rookies in a situation where they have nobody to reference in terms of what can I do to be better on this next possession or this next game. I think the Browns have done a terrible job with their quarterbacks, and it's showing. So, but Shador does get the start this week. He gets the opportunity, I think, to prove a lot of us right. A lot of us do feel like Shador is an NFL caliber quarterback. I'm interested to see, again, this is a perfect spot for Shador. The Raiders, as you just saw against the Cowboys, Raiders are not a good defense. There's going to be opportunities for Shador to push the ball down the field. There's going to be opportunities for Shador to show all the things that made him a first-round talent. I also think because the Browns' defense is so good, this is one of them spots as well where Shador doesn't have to be great. He just has to be solid. So I think that those are one of the things that that can help him this week. And kind of, again, going against the Ravens, middle of the game, that's a tough spot to be in. Going against this Raider defense, having a week to prepare for it, outside of Max Crosby, there isn't a real threat on his defense. I think Shador's going to do just fine this week. So that's something I'm going to be looking forward to. Let's see. Kyrie, we're going to get to this. And I'm going to bring this question back up when Will gets on. I'm not sure if he's familiar with it. I've only heard bits and pieces of the story, Kyrie. So I'm going to give you what I've heard so far. My understanding of it is obviously he was arrested on assault charges. The story came out that he had found his sister hanging out in the house with another young man. Young man was 18 years old, so yes, by law, he's an adult, but he's a young man. I'm not sure how old his sister is. Nonetheless, we've all been there as men, as young men, older brothers, older cousins, whatever the case may be. I don't know how the conversation went. So I'm not going to say that Pat Bev is wrong. I'm not going to say he's right. It's very possible he walked in, saw the young man in, told the young man to leave. The young man might have mouthed off, and then Pat did what he does. It's also very possible that this is an ongoing situation. Maybe there's a young man that he's found his sister with before, maybe has warned him, don't come over here. And now that he saw him this time, there was no talking. He went straight to action. So I think this is one of those situations you kind of got to let play out until we find out more details. Again, I don't think Pat was wrong because you come in the house. I got two daughters. I come in the house. This company here that I was not expecting, we're going to have a problem. We're going to have a real motherfucking problem in here. So it's very possible that he had already warned his sister, don't have this man and don't have this young man in the house, or don't have anybody in the house when I'm not here. It's very possible maybe Pat came in and was chill. And maybe Shorty was mouthing off and Shorty was talking tough, thinking, I'm going to get over on Pat. Who knows? But I'm not going to say Pat is wrong until we find out more details, because at the end of the day, you in that man's house. Whoever this dude is, again, yeah, you're a young man, you're 18 years old, but you in his house. So if you're not moving with the proper amount of respect, If you're not making sure that it was cool to be over there, you shouldn't be over there, point blank, period. Now, again, I'm not going to front. I'm not going to make it seem like I was some angel when I was 18. I was places I had no business being. But I also understood the consequences of being in them places. So I don't think this is one of them situations that, again, Shorty has much he could really say unless Pat just completely wild out on him. Unless Pat came in and completely wild out, unprovoked for no reason, Shorty don't really have no basis to stand on because at the end of the day, you're in Pat's house. So that's where I stand with that. But we're gonna get to that Kyrie when Will Gordon joins. Let's see what else we got. Also, guys, again, we got the picks. Let me put the picks across the bottom of the screen. That way you guys can see what we're rocking with this week. As we've talked about in the past, we got the 9-leg parlay that we're going to be putting up. We've been coming close. Let me know what y'all like, what y'all don't like on the parlays. Let me know what picks y'all like and y'all don't like. Again, the bottom of the screen, those are my picks right there. I pick against the spread. I'm going to have Will and Tripp's picks going up shortly. Those are straight up. But again, send over the questions, send over the comments. Make sure you guys are locked in. If you don't follow me already, make sure you are following me across all social media platforms. Legend in 2 Games. Got something I'm working on this weekend that you guys are going to see on my social media feeds. So we expecting to, as I teased before, we're going to try to change things up, bring a little bit more excitement, but also continue to grow on the opportunities to be interactive. So yeah, you guys will see. If you don't already, you see the handle at the bottom, Legend in 2 Games. Make sure you follow me across all social media platforms. All right. Let's see what else we got. Kyrie says, Colts versus Chiefs. How much pressure is on Mahomes on Sunday? There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs right now, I think on the surface, Mahomes has played well. I think there's some unfair criticism of Patrick Mahomes because I think when you look at their team in comparison to some of the other teams that we expect to be good, Patrick Mahomes is not getting any type of support from that running game. All right, their leading rusher is Kareem Hunt. He's not even at 400 yards on the year. In comparison, you look at this Colts team they're facing, you got Jonathan Taylor, who's already over 1,100 yards. All right, so the Chiefs are one of the worst rushing teams in football. But the pressure's on Patrick Mahomes for this reason and this reason only. They are home favorites this week. They enter a 3-game stretch that, to me, is really going to define their season. They've got the Colts this week. Then they got a short week. They got to go to Dallas. And then after that, they get the Texans. This is their season. The Texans are also 5-5. The Texans have opportunities to get back in the mix of things. And their opportunity starts tomorrow night against Buffalo. But for the Chiefs and for Patrick Mahomes, for a team that went to 3 straight Super Bowls, a team that's played in, 5 out of the last 6 Super Bowls, they're in real danger of not making the playoffs. And so Mahomes on Sunday against this Colts team that I think is one of the best offenses in football. I know I'm biased. I see, you see the jersey I got on. I'm biased. But it's one of the best offensive football. It's one of the most complete rosters in football. Mahomes is going to have to be MVP caliber Mahomes to beat the Colts. He can't just be good. I think he's going to have to be very good / great this week. He's going to have to pull together a vintage Mahomes performance because I really think the Colts style of play is going to give the Chiefs defense problems. I like the Chiefs defense. But when you look at the Colts' ability to stretch the field with Alex Pierce, when you look at the Colts' ability to be very physical with Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Warren, and then when you look at the opportunities, I think in the slot, Josh Downs might have a big week this week. Pay attention. 2 of the main things I'm looking for the Colts this week. Look at Josh Downs and look at Alec Pierce. I think both those guys are going to have plenty of opportunities to make plays this week against this Chiefs defense because Spagnuolo, I think, is going to have to be aggressive. I think he's going to have to blitz. This could be a very, very dangerous matchup for the Chiefs. Now, I like the Colts to cover. I like the Colts to win. They're getting 3.5 points. That's more so out of respect for the Chiefs. I think if this game was Indianapolis, we're looking at probably a 4.5 point, 5.5 point spread for the Colts' favor. If this game was in Indianapolis, I think most people would think the Colts would win on the turf. But because it's in Kansas City, unless weather becomes a major factor, there's a lot more respect for Kansas City. Nobody wants to outright say that the Chiefs are in trouble and that the Chiefs could potentially be on the outside of the playoffs. But this is a tough matchup. And I think Mahomes is going to have to be vintage Patrick Mahomes if they expect to beat the Colts on Sunday. So there is a lot of pressure on him, Kyrie. I think he's going to have to be very, very good against the Colts, who have a pretty good pass rush. Now they get the opportunity coming off the bye week to fully incorporate Sauce Gardner into the defense. If Ward is back, that means the Colts will have both their top corners back. And again, this is a Chiefs team that does not run the ball well. The Colts are already pretty stout against a run without having a blitz. Lou Anarumo loves the blitz. Lou Anarumo could be the key in this. Lou Anarumo has dialed up defenses in the past that have given Patrick Mahomes trouble. You look back to his time with Cincinnati. Lou Anarumo, this could be the game where a lot of people start to look at Lou as a potential head coaching candidate this offseason, because between his defensive philosophy and the coach's just ability to stop the run, it's going to put a lot of pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is going to have to throw into a lot of zone coverages. He's going to have to extend plays with his legs. This is not going to be an easy week for Patrick Mahomes. I'm telling you right now, I would be surprised if Patrick Mahomes, if the Chiefs just breeze through the Colts. I think there's going to be a very tough matchup for the Chiefs. Styles make fights, and this is a style that I think matches up perfectly with the Chiefs. I like the Colts a lot in that game. Ron, we're going to stay with the Chiefs theme. All right. Ron wants to know, more likely, Chiefs miss playoffs or reach Super Bowl? Miss playoffs. And I know that sounds crazy to say. I'm one of Patrick Mahomes' biggest supporters. I think Mahomes is on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks already. I've said that many times. But that does not make up for the flaws that this team has. This team has some major, major flaws. And I don't think that even if they make the playoffs, granted, they'll be dangerous. Nobody wants to face the Chiefs in the playoffs. It's Patrick Mahomes still. But I think their flaws, especially running the ball, are going to be a major, major issue for them. That you've got to be able to at least create balance, or at least give the impression that you can create balance. It's one of the reasons that I thought that the Eagles really dominated them in the Super Bowl. They were never able to at least show the threat of creating balance in that game. It's been one of the themes throughout this season. You look at a lot of their close losses, one score losses could go either way. All 5 of their losses have been close games, so it's not like they've been embarrassed in any one of them. But in all those games, they just can't get any running game going. And it comes down to a lot of Patrick Mahomes. And when you are able to just sit back in zone coverages and leave your safeties high and sit in nickel with dime coverages and keep extra cornerbacks on the field, Mahomes isn't going to find open receivers all the time. At some point, the pressure is going to get there. At some point, there's going to be some issues. So I think that in terms of this particular question, I think it's more likely they miss the playoffs altogether. I think they will struggle to get into the playoffs, but they could miss it. I just don't think they can win the Super Bowl. I look at the AFC, and I don't think the Chiefs, who are not going to be a number 1 seed, they're going to have to go on the road for every game because it doesn't look like they're going to win their division. I just don't see that's a path they can win. Now, things could line up perfectly, right? They might get a chance to avoid Buffalo and have to play in snowy Buffalo. They might get a third opportunity against the Broncos in a playoff game. And we know playing a team 3 times gives you a great advantage, especially since they're divisional opponents. But outside of, they could beat Baltimore. I'm not too sold on Baltimore right now. I don't think Baltimore's playing really well. And I think Baltimore's another team that's struggling with their identity right now. The O-line hasn't been that good. The Ravens defense damn sure hasn't been that good this year. That's a matchup. Yeah, if the Chiefs played them in the playoffs, the Chiefs could beat them. But I don't think the Chiefs could beat the Colts in the Dome in Indianapolis. I don't think they could beat Buffalo up in Buffalo in January with that weapon. And so, like I said, to win 3 playoff rounds on the road when you have a major flaw offensively, yeah, I would lean more towards that, Ron. I think more likely they miss the playoffs than actually reach the Super Bowl. Let's go over to basketball real quick. Tito said, Pistons 11 straight. Story of the year to me, Cade is coming. Shit, already asked him. Pause. Yes, Cade has been amazing. I thought last year against the Knicks in that first round series, that was kind of his coming out party. It was his introduction to the world and to basketball fans. I'm not too shocked by the Pistons because, again, this was a team that last year had already kind of built up their momentum. But as I said, to me, the real key with them is going to be JB Bickerstaff. If they want to take the next step, if they want to jump up a level, JB Bickerstaff as a coach is going to have to jump up a level. He had success in Cleveland. And then we saw how that kind of faded in the playoffs 2 years from him. So if they want to take that next step, it's more about JB as opposed to Cade, because I think Cade is a legitimate all-star. Cade is one of probably the top 12 players in the league. Will Gordon, give me a thumbs up once you're ready, bro. As always, the opinionated ones are back on Wednesdays. Got my brother Will Gordon with me. Will,
what they do, baby? How everybody doing tonight? Happy Wednesday.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Just trying to get some bets in before the night's through, you know.
Yeah, I feel you. I got a ticket going on right now that I'm paying attention to. That does include Houston's money line. Houston's winning right now. So let's go through some of these. I started answering some of these, but let's start right here. Pistons won 11 straight. Story of the year. What are your thoughts on the Pistons and Cade Cunningham so far?
Cade is legit. I've seen maybe 4 of these games through this stretch, and if Cade's in or not, they solid, you know. And that's what's been shocking to me. But I think you've seen the birth of the next superstar guard in the NBA with Cade. He's it's not a lot about his game that I can say something bad about. You know, he from what I've been seeing so far, he can do it all. And if he can stay healthy and this team can continue to grow, then I think Detroit's going to be a problem. But like I heard you saying right before I joined, JB Bickerstaff, I'm not sold on him because I've seen him around a whole bunch of different spots in the league. I wasn't sold on his pops neither.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have the reputation of being good basketball coaches, but not guys that you want drawing up plays in clutch situations or anything like that. So, but that's what's going to take. That's what it's going to take for you to get to the next level. As far as a team, you're going to have a coach that's ready for that level.
I agree. Like I said, JB been around the game for a long time. As you mentioned, his dad Bernie was a head coach, but JB had the Cleveland job before Kenny Atkinson had it, right? Yeah. And like I said, as a Knicks fan, we went against Cleveland that first year Donovan was there. We beat them in 5 games. Cleveland had a better squad than we did, but Tibbs completely outcoached JB in that series. You look at last year, same thing again. All those games against Detroit was close. Detroit was beating us 2 of those games late in the second half. But JB, I just don't think he's not one of those guys that can adjust to playoff basketball. Regular season, he can get you 55 wins. He's done it before. I just think come playoff basketball, when things get a little bit more intense and you got to have those minor tweaks, he folds. So for them to take the next step, I think it's either going to be JB's going to change as a head coach, or it's going to have to be a new head coach in there.
Yeah. And with if Tibbs goes all year without
using his bench,
you know what I'm saying, he ain't really doing nothing. And if the Pistons fall short, don't think it won't be some whispers about that change up right there, the coaching position.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, there's a couple. Obviously, Tibbs is one. You got Taylor Jenkins, who's with Memphis, is out there. Obviously, Mike Malone is still out there. So there's some high-profile coaches that are available if JB struggles. Yeah. Let's go to the first comment of the night. I like this one too from Ron Raw. More likely, Chiefs miss playoffs or reach Super Bowl. I've already said I think missing the playoffs is very likely for them. So to me, that is more likely between these 2 scenarios.
Yeah, if that's the only 2 options you got, I'm gonna say, especially sitting at 5-5, just coming off a division loss, a much needed game against the Broncos. They still got to see the Chargers again. Was that the first Broncos matchup?
Yeah, they got the Broncos and the Chargers one more time.
Yes. So I mean, neither one of those are going to be easy games. I don't know exactly what the rest of their schedule is, but with the way it's sitting right now, I can't say that they're going to put it together and make a Super Bowl run. So sitting at 500, I gotta say they're gonna miss the playoffs.
I've already said I think the next 3 weeks of their season. Next 3 games, they got the Colts this Sunday. They got the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, so they got that short week turnaround, and then they got the Texans after that. If they don't find a way to come out of that stretch at least 2-1, they got to win 2 out of those 3. I think their season's over. And the reason I say it's more likely they miss the playoffs is it's on just look at their team, their inability to run the ball, bro. Like, yeah, they can get by a lot of times with Mahomes, but you've seen it all year. Teams, there's no threat to run the ball from the Chiefs. Their leading rusher is Kareem Hunt. He's not even at 400 yards for the season. They don't run the ball. There's no threat of running the ball. And so it allows teams to schematically just sit back, play a lot of coverage, keep everything in front of them. And that's why you see that the Chiefs are struggling to put up big numbers like they did in the past. They just can't get down the field. Even with all the receivers now, they just can't push the ball down the field. So even if they were to make the playoffs, I don't think that's a formula for you to go on a Super Bowl run. I just don't think you can win 3 road games and you have no threat of a running game. You're not gonna win 3 road playoff games by throwing the ball 45 times. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So if these are the scenarios, I'm gonna say it's more likely they miss the playoffs. Let's go to this one right here. Tito, Shador will start on Sunday versus the Raiders. It's one of the things we knew on Sunday while Dylan Gabriel concussion protocol. What are your thoughts, Will? Because I talked about a lot about this on Sunday.
It's about time, first of all. Even though it's only because of injury, it's about time this dude gets an opportunity to show us what he's got with live bullets, with a week. At least he has a week to prepare. Mm-hmm. He's finally getting snaps, which is insane. Now I guess he can finally get snaps with the first team, which is a whole nother topic in itself. But I think you're gonna see a whole different kind of energy from the Browns, kind of like when you see when teams fire their coach and then the next week all of a sudden they look like world beaters. I feel like this is the shot in the arm that the Browns have needed, and I think you're gonna see those guys on offense play with a little more pep in their step, with a little more urgency, and actually out there trying to make plays. It didn't look like they were going through the motions all season. And now I think you're going to see a team that's excited to take the field. And it's who better than the Raiders, who are trash, to if you gotta jump in the pool, you know what I'm saying, at least, and there ain't no sharks in there right now. You know what I'm saying? So if you gotta jump in the pool now, then this is the time. I think you might see actually I'm picking Cleveland to win this week.
I am too.
In Vegas, man. I think it's going to be a lot of eyeballs on this game, and I think Shador is this the moment he's been waiting for. Now we about to see it, and let's not sleep on that defense. Browns defense is pretty incredible. It's just they don't have anything on the offensive side of the ball, and that Raiders offense is terrible. This is the perfect game for Shador to come out where he doesn't have to. He's not going to have to score 30 points. He's going to have to, take what the defense is giving him, make plays, and that defense is going to do enough. So I think Shador is going to have his first start in the NFL is going to be a W.
I think that. So I expect them to win. They're getting 4 points. I'm going to take the points, and I'll probably take them to win on another ticket as well. There was 2 things that I heard this week that I thought were very interesting that nobody's really talking about, and this came from former players. So I was like, all right. And this is the insight that we need on this situation. First, Cody Kessler on Gil's Arena mentioned this. He said the situation for Shador was a lose-lose, right? He said all week Shador had been running scout team offense. So Shador is sitting there all week preparing their defense for this matchup against the Ravens. You come in the game halfway in after you done called 35 plays. So now you're at a point in this play selection that Shador hasn't even practiced with all week, right? You're at a point in your play calling that these are plays that Shador isn't even comfortable with because he hasn't run anything with the ones. But more importantly, this is a part of the playbook where it's like, now this is unscripted. This is going based off the flow of the game. And I talked about this on Sunday. I thought that Stefanski really set him up for failure. If you look at the second half of that game, their first 6 plays coming out of halftime, they're up 16-10. Their first 6 plays coming out of halftime, 5 of those 6 plays are passing plays. Why aren't you running the ball to gain any rhythm? Why aren't you trying to create a flow for the offense? You're just throwing Shador out there. He's ice cold coming into the second half of the game, and the 5 of your first 6 plays are passing plays. Mm-hmm. So that's that part of it. The next part of it is something that I heard Jeff Saturday say, which was very telling as well. And when you look at the highlights from the game, you can see exactly what he means. He said when you're the backup quarterback and you've never worked with that O-line before, they're not used to your cadence. They're not used to your timing. And he goes, a lot of times you're going to see O-linemen looking down the line to see when the ball is snapped because they're not used to playing with you. All those pressures the O-line looked a step slow. I'm not saying it's a great offensive line, but when the O-line is looking down the line at the ball as opposed to paying attention to the guy in front of him and where the rush is coming from, that's a major disadvantage. There's no way you're going to block for the guy when I'm looking down the line and I got to turn back up and now I got 3 guys running at him. So I think, as you mentioned, this week, a week with the ones will be very beneficial. And then again, you're playing a Raiders defense. The only guy on that Raiders defense that's any threat is Max Crosby. Outside of that, he should be able to I think, dice up this secondary. It's going to be a great opportunity for him. And I think if he plays well, I wouldn't be surprised if Stefanski is fired, because Stefanski has kept him on the bench this whole time. Why haven't you played him? You know, the owner, Jimmy Haslam, wants him played. Now, if he comes out and does well after just 1 week of full practice, there's no excuse for what Kevin Stefanski has done so far.
Yeah, the owner definitely wants him in there. The owner's family's on the sidelines with Shador jerseys on.
Wearing his jersey, yep.
You know what I'm saying? And he knew what they had on when they left the house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They know what it is. I'm surprised he hasn't already forced his hand and said, start Shador. I'm really surprised that hasn't happened. But if Shador goes out there and plays well, we're not going to see him go to the bench when Dylan Gabriel played. That's not going to happen.
If he plays well, there's no way he can go back to the bench. It's got to be his job. Well, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this situation. I only know some of the story. Pat Bev, the drama around him getting arrested. Kyrie Thompson wants to get our thoughts on that.
So what I heard was, and correct me if I'm wrong, all I heard was that his sister is 16, dating an 18-year-old.
Right. And
was going to see the dude, or the dude came over. She was trying to go see the dude or whatever, and Pat wasn't having it. The dude came through, right? Or did the dude come over or something like that?
Yeah, my understanding of it is Pat either came home or was already home, and dude came over, and then it escalated from there.
So but yeah, I heard. What I was hearing was he socked his sister and choked her out. Now, if that's the case, whoa, you know what I'm saying? I'm not with none of that.
I got to double check, because my understanding of it was that he assaulted the boy.
Oh, okay. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm hearing. I heard the boy. The first time I heard was the dude, and then today I heard it was his sister.
Oh, see, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I was hearing it was the sister that he hit today. Actually, it was
Oh yeah, well, TMZ is reporting that he choked his sister.
Yeah. So that's my issue with it is, why wasn't you putting hands on the dude when you chose to put hands on your sister? Like this, like what's going on there?
TMZ's reporting, I guess details of it is coming out. They're reporting that Pat Bev, his sister, I told him she was going to go out and meet her boyfriend. He told her she couldn't go. She left in the middle of the night. And when she returned home, that's when everything happened.
Yeah, he lunching. Now, see, I'm putting hands on old boy because he 18, he an adult. I'm putting hands on him. You know what I'm saying? But not my sister.
Yeah, the story don't make no sense, because from what I'm reading here, so yeah, because TMZ put it out today. This is his niece through his sister. So this isn't even. I don't even think this is his little sister. I think this is his niece. The way they reporting it. She snuck out the house. She came back in. The mother, I guess, caught her, told her to call the boyfriend to come pick her up. Then the girl's mother calls Pat to come over to the house, and then that's when everything went left. So I don't.
But they said he lifted his sister up off the ground by her throat.
Yeah, while he was choking her. Yeah.
That
changes. That everything I said earlier, because my original understanding was that he assaulted the boyfriend.
Oh no, they say he assaulted his sister.
Yeah. None of that shit is cool, bro. None of that shit is cool. I was completely wrong, because my initial reading of the situation was that he attacked the boyfriend, And I said earlier, I was like, I don't know all the details. I didn't know if it was one of them situations where he comes home and the boyfriend's in the house, or maybe it was one of them situations where he had warned her about having a boyfriend over at the house and he just happens to be there. But based on this stuff, nah, that's completely unacceptable from Pat Bev.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pat, he bugging with that shit.
I ain't even surprised though. Like he a weirdo, man. But that's some foul shit. Your sister?
Yeah, that shit is corny, bro. Your sister's 16 years old, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You want to yell at her, scream at her, cool. You first of all, we're not putting hands on females as is, but especially not no 16-year-old girl, bro. Come on. Will, this for you. Ron wants to know. You being a DC cat, I want to ask. Brad Bill is out for the season now. Will, for those that may be new, they don't know. You have a specific hatred for Bradley Bill.
Yeah.
What did you think of him in his Wizard years? He could shoot, but he never wowed me. What did you think of him? Go ahead, Will.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
gonna mute my mic. I'm gonna mute my mic because I already know this. Go ahead.
Ron, man. Years and years I've been getting on Brad Bill. I've never been a bit. Even when he was when it was him and John, when it was the House of Gods, he was never my guy. He when he blew up was when he was the first, second, third, and fourth option on the offense, and there was no one else to go to. That's when he was making all NBA and all that, when he was averaging 30. Well, take a look at the rosters. It was trash. His game is very limited. He can shoot. Yes, he's a shooter. I can't take his ability to shoot the ball away from him, but he's horrible at getting his own shots. He has the most wasted motion of a guard that I've ever seen. He's herky-jerky with his dribble. He always loses the ball. He just was always a okay guard to me. He was never an all-star guard in my eyes. And the fact that ever since he's left Washington, which was a miracle in itself that we were able to get rid of his contract, he hasn't done anything. Once he's left Washington and then been around real pros, he's looked like what he is. And that's just a regular-ass guard who was in a great situation financially in Washington. He was never the dude. If he was that dude, we would have got further than Boston every year in the playoffs. But he never was that guy. I'm not surprised by what's happened since he's left Washington. You know, and when they announced that he was out for the season, I kind of chuckled. I mean, and not because you don't want nobody to be injured, but it's just like, there you go, Brad Bill gonna Brad Bill it. You know what I'm saying? So good luck and Godspeed to him. But I'm just glad he's no longer in Washington D.C.
When Will and I started doing this podcast 5 years ago, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy, right?
It is, right?
We started doing this podcast 5 years ago. The Knicks weren't that good at that time. And I remember asking, like, yo, what's the deal with Bill? I like Bill. And Will used to say it then. All the things Will's saying now, y'all, Will was saying this 5 years ago. So this isn't one of them situations that he's saying this after he left DC and, this is how he feels about him now. Will was saying this when I first started doing a podcast with him 5 years ago. So I thought, and when you text me that day about the injury, and, I kind of laughed too, because like, the dude just, he basically robbed a lot of NBA teams for a lot of years.
Hell yeah.
He got paid top dollar to be an average player at best.
This dude was making $57 million last year. What?
Right. To be average at best, he got top dollar. So yeah. Let's see. Kyrie said, so many stars and important role players hurt. Why do you think there's so many injuries in today's game and calf strains? Just the wear and tear on guys' body. You gotta remember, a lot of these guys, I mean, they're working out throughout the year. They playing summer league games. They playing summertime games. I also think some of it is guys could probably play through the injuries if they needed to, but it's such a long season. We know how these teams feel about load management. So I don't put too much in all these injuries because I think some of these are just a way to get some rest and kind of eliminate the wear and tear on your body. What you think, Will?
You know what? It's not just the NBA though. It's like football too. I feel like it's a lot of injuries, a lot more injuries than we used to see all across sports, and I'm not able to pinpoint why that is. Um, Load management does have a lot to do with it. Guys not going as hard pause and guys not practicing as much. I mean, guys do still play in the summertime,
Yeah.
but what are they doing during the regular season that they aren't doing what they used to? Practices, they're not practicing as much. You know what I'm saying? They're not putting their bodies through the rigors in practice anymore. So it's like they're not really there. It's almost like, you know how people work out. You get dudes to just work out for the beach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not really trying to work out for their health. They're just trying to work out for show.
Right.
It's almost like that's what athletes are doing now, except for the elite. You know, the elite of the elite that actually are out there performing at an extremely high level on a night in, night out basis, that actually do take care of their health, the way not just their body, their health. You know what I'm saying? You got to take care of your health. And I'm thinking guys nowadays are just, you know, they doing it for the ground and for the pictures and all that, where they're not really doing it for the betterment of their career. They just doing it for the right now, for the show, where they're not really, like, they're not taking it as seriously as guys like Kobe did. You know what I'm saying? They were meticulous and was very, very calculated on how they treated their bodies and how they performed. You're not really. I'm not saying everybody's not doing that now, but I don't feel like they are. I feel like it's more of it's just not as taking it seriously now, and load management lends to that because they feel like they don't have to take it as seriously now, because if they don't feel like it or hit this night or that night, they'll take a night off.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it, to be honest. I think a lot of guys, they know that they can get the night off. They can, I'll sit this one out because we got a road trip coming up, or I'll sit this one out because it's the last night of a 5-game road trip. And so it's really manipulation of the load management and the schedule. It's corny because the NBA, I think, has really gone out of their way to eliminate back-to-backs and 3 games in 4 nights. You see it now. That's why the season started so early now. These games are so spaced out now. You know, obviously everybody follows their own individual team, so I'll use the Knicks as an example. I think the Knicks have only played 1 back-to-back so far this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're very rarely any back-to-backs anymore. If you play tonight, you're definitely off tomorrow. Even if you're staying at home, even if you're on a home trip, you know what I'm saying, on a homestand, you're not playing back-to-backs anymore. So I think these guys, as you mentioned, it's for the gram, it's for the look of, yeah, I'm staying prepared, I'm doing what I gotta do. But for the most part, these guys know I'm chilling, man. I'm taking a night off. We were in Houston last night, and I might have partied after that game, so I don't want to play the next game. I'm gonna relax.
Perfect example of guys, and this is not somebody that I'm going to say it doesn't take every game seriously and doesn't try hard, but a perfect example of somebody that's doing it for. I always felt like was doing it for sure, especially when he was up here, was Nick Chubb. Now you'll see Nick Chubb do all kind of workouts that are ridiculous, impressive for pictures and for reels and videos, but have nothing to do with football. Like, I don't need you deadlifting 3,000 pounds, or, you know what I'm saying, or squatting a Volkswagen on your back. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you doing that. For what? Because then you go out here and you take a hit and your knee is facing the wrong direction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all that lifting and all that does not have anything to do with taking care of your body. And a lot of these guys are, like, while you're doing all that, you should probably be maybe stretching. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't cool. That ain't, you know what I'm saying? That ain't on.
That ain't.
You know what I'm saying? You have them bands on. You know, when you sit down, you got the bands around your feet, right, and then you pull it. Like, you should probably be doing that, but that ain't getting no clicks. You know what I'm saying? But hey, what am I doing? I'm a dad bod dude watching on the couch. You know, what can I say? You know what I'm saying? But that's what it looked like.
Yeah, I mean, I agree though. I think, bro, if you injury prone, don't be posting the workout videos. Don't.
Yeah.
You know, but we know again, that's for the likes. I mean, how many summers did Ben Simmons post videos of him shooting threes?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes posted just cause it's like I know I'm gonna get a reaction for this, man. Let's go through a couple more questions, and then we're gonna get to the parlays and get to the money of the show. Ron wants to know: should Lane Kiffin stay at Ole Miss long term? I think if he's comfortable there, sure. But I also know that Lane Kiffin wants to get back to the NFL, and I don't knock him. I don't knock any coach who wants to get back to the highest level. So I would say if he's comfortable staying at Ole Miss, yes. If his goal is to get back to the NFL, I think he will get an opportunity, even as an offensive coordinator, to get back in the NFL, and he should pursue that.
Yeah, I ain't got no thoughts on it. I didn't even know where he was at.
Yeah, he had coach down there.
Where he at? Ole Miss?
Ole Miss, yeah. I think they ranked this year, too. They're having a good year.
Is somebody talking about bringing him back to the NFL? Or is his name just in the circles?
So recently there was a report. He shut it down on Pat McAfee show, but there was a report stating that Ole Miss had put like kind of stipulations in this. I guess they either there's stipulations or they've outright said that teams who are calling for him, they're not going to allow them permission to speak to him to leave. He said on Pat McAfee show, he goes, that's not true, that him and Ole Miss have open dialogue and they know that if he does get the right opportunity, he's allowed to pursue it. I do think, again, I don't think he'll be an NFL head coach, but as an offensive coordinator, yeah, I think he'll get that opportunity as an offensive coordinator at the next level. I mean, you see Cliff Kingsbury got that opportunity now. You see Chip Kelly got that opportunity again. So if those guys are getting an opportunity, Lane Kiffin will get an opportunity, at least a call to be an offensive coordinator.
Where was he before this job? What was his last job?
Did he?
I forgot all about Lane Kiffin, to be honest with
you. Before he took the Ole Miss job, I think he had went back to Bama as the offensive coordinator for a few years with Nick Saban, and then he took this job. He's been at Ole Miss. He's been at Ole Miss now, I think, at least 3 years.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what else we got. Right here, Kyrie. He said Draymond was about to fight a fan because he kept yelling at Angel Reese. Kenyon Martin called Dre a fake tough guy. Will, what's your thoughts?
I saw that. That was amusing.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew Draymond was gonna swing on the fan.
That's a fact.
And the fan knew that too. You know what I'm saying? That almost felt like some WWE shit. Almost, you know what I'm saying? But it was amusing to me. That the fan was able to get Draymond's attention in that manner. But yeah, that's all. I mean, nothing. I don't think nothing really to see there. But Draymond, what's he supposed to do in that situation? He wasn't gonna punch the dude, and I ain't gonna say he's a fake tough guy neither. You know what I'm saying? But in that situation, like, come on, what else is he gonna do?
Yeah, Dre wasn't gonna do nothing there. I think it's Kenyon Martin. This speaks to when they want to pick and choose and this dude's a fake tough guy. I remember, Will, I'm sure you remember this too. There was an incident when Kenyon Martin and Tim Thomas got into it. Now, they was both in New York. Tim Thomas, after the game, he told him, he said, he fugazi, he not no real tough guy. And if he want to see me, we both in New York, he can see me. Tim Thomas, a Jersey dude. Kenyon Martin never pursued that. Now, on the court, Kenyon Martin kept up the persona like, they had a real issue. They played several times after that. There was no real issue. So to call Draymond a fake tough guy, like, what's Draymond supposed to do? He's supposed to swing on a fan?
Right.
He not, come on, stop. Then if he swing on a fan, you're going to call him an idiot for compromising his career and his bag.
And as far as the league goes, on the court, he's absolutely a tough guy, especially with these dudes that's playing now.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, I don't really, I'm not with that one.
That's what I'm saying. This is one of them, this is him being selective, like, he a fake tough guy. Like, so what he's supposed to do? He's supposed to swing on a fan, probably get suspended for the rest of the year, lose his money, and then kind of almost work his way out the league to prove to you that he a real tough guy.
If he swung on a fan, first of all, he'd be criminally charged.
Right.
Let's not.
Yeah. Let's call it what it is. Right.
First of all, forget about suspended for the year. You might do a year. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like, come on the court, Draymond Green in the 2025 NBA is probably as tough as they come.
I mean,
But
but like I said, I just
in
found
the
it.
2025 NBA, that's probably a
Right.
tough thing.
But for Kenyon Martin, like I said, I remember when Kenyon Martin and Tim Thomas got into it. When Tim Thomas was on the Knicks, Kenyon Martin was on the Nets. Tim Thomas, he called him. He called him a bitch and said he was like, "You fugazi, you not know you all this shit is an act. It's a facade. We know it's a facade." And there's a clip I believe on YouTube where you can find with Tim Thomas talking to a reporter, and he says, "We both in New York. If you want to see me, you know where to find me."
I vaguely do remember that.
So, like I said, if Tim Thomas said that to you at any point, y'all could have pulled up and you could have showed him you was a real tough guy. But again, they being selective about who they want to go after. Guys, as always, we're live every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Make sure you are subscribed to the podcast. Shoot us a like, shoot us a comment. Let us know what you got going on. But it's that time of the show. We got the picks going across the bottom of the screen. You see Will Gordon's Week 12 picks. I've had my picks up there. I'm going to put them up there in a second. We're going to do the 9-leg parlay. Will Tripp send me his picks. I like this week.
Okay.
I'm going to start with yours, though. All right?
All right.
You have. Now, again, as we always tell people, listen, bet however you want to bet. If you want to play the whole 9-leg parlay, if you want to go into, straights, if you like a couple of them. But if you hit some, give us the credit. That's all I ask. You ain't even got to send us nothing. Just give us the credit that, hey, I got that parlay, you know what I'm saying, from the opinionated ones. Now, Will Gordon, you like George Kittle anytime touchdown on Monday night against the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Drake made 3+ passing touchdowns in their game against the Bengals. I like that one as well. Bengals' worst defense in football.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jonathan Taylor first half anytime touchdown in the Colts-Chiefs game.
Yes, sir.
The Jonathan Taylor, I wanted to look at what the odds were just to take it straight up as opposed to having first half. But I know first half gives you plus money. I think it's like plus 110.
Yeah, I was going plus money for every bet.
Yeah. The Drake May I really like. You look at the Patriots, I think they've scored at least 30 points in something like 5 of their last 6 or 6 of their last 7. Mm-hmm. So, and against this Bengals team, they're going to air it out. I also I was looking at Travion Henderson anytime touchdown because they love to use him in the passing game as well. I thought that kind of went hand in hand. And if you're taking Drake May 3 touchdowns, he might get one out to the running back there. But I do like that. Which one of them you like the most, though?
Out of the 3, I'm probably gonna say I think I like that Kittle anytime. He's been all they've got. And the thing is, teams know that, and he's still gonna get his. He's been steady ever since he's come back from injury. And they use him. You know what I'm saying? His usage rate's too high. They don't really have a lot of else going on offense. And under the lights, with the nation watching, I think he's going to get in that end zone. So, yeah, I love that one.
I like that one, too, because Purdy's back. He is Purdy's favorite target. And like I said, with all the injuries they got at receiver, he'll get most of the red zone targets. We'll see how that game goes. All right, so I'm fucking with it, though. Kittle anytime. Drake made 3 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor first half. Tripp has a couple that are on Thursday night. I have one for Thursday night as well, but I'm going to go over Tripp's first. He got James Cook anytime touchdown.
Okay.
He got Josh Allen 250 yards passing. And he's got Derrick Henry in the Baltimore game to run for at least 70 yards.
Derrick Henry 70?
Yep.
Who they got?
They got
the weak-ass Jets. Yeah,
they got the weak-ass Jets, yep.
I like that. I like all 3. Wait, who Buffalo got? Oh, that Buffalo, that's a Thursday game, right?
That's the Thursday game. And the one, I'm going to be honest, the one that scares me a little bit is the Josh Allen passing yards.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say.
The Texans got a really good defense. So
and that secondary is healthy, right?
Yep, the secondary is healthy. The pass rush is healthy. That's the only one. I see the James Cook, the Josh Allen passing yards, because they don't have the receivers that's going to get separation.
Yeah.
That secondary.
That's a whole nother topic, too, is what are they doing at receiver in Buffalo? Like, those guys they're really not stepping up at all.
Nah. It was one of the things we talked about 2 weeks ago when I said I don't I don't think you could blame Josh Allen for their struggles because they just don't have nobody who can get open.
Mm-mm.
All their big plays down the field, those are all off scripted plays. That's Josh Allen scrambling around and then letting the receiver break off coverage and get open. But the actual structure of the play, none of that shit is working.
Nah.
Guys ain't getting open. So if it ain't James Cook breaking a big run, it's got to be Josh Allen scrambling around hoping to get somebody. That's the one. I'm gonna put a star next to that. We might have to replace that one.
That's why I asked you who they played, because
I don't like the Josh Allen 250 passing.
That's the one I would be concerned about.
Yeah.
But
I don't like that one.
We need to put a pin in that, come back to it.
Yeah. All right, this is my 3, and I love these 3. I think they're pretty solid. Right. The first one I love the most is Jahmyr Gibbs anytime touchdown against the Giants.
Oh yeah, I like that.
All right. Will, this shit is ridiculous. For as good as a pass rush as the Giants have, I just want you to look at their last 5 opponents, what they ran for, how many times they scored. And we're going to work in reverse. So 5 weeks ago, starting that Denver game, Denver ran the ball 24 times for 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. The week after, Philly ran the ball 33 times for 276 yards. They was averaging 8.5 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. That was the big Saquon running that game. The next week, they played the 49ers, 39 carries, 159 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then when they played the Bears, 28 carries, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns. Last week, Josh Jacobs got hurt in that game. The Packers still ran the ball 23 times for 128 yards and 1 touchdown. That's 8 touchdowns in the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy work. Yeah. That's a good tidbit too. I might put a ticket just in on that game.
Yeah.
Load up on the running game.
Yeah. I like I said, I love that matchup for Gibbs. And if you want to get greedy, you could throw Montgomery in there too.
Yeah, Montgomery probably gonna get one.
Right. But again, you're looking at last 5 weeks, teams all have run the ball for at least 125 yards. Every one of them games, every team averaged at least 5.5 yards per carry. Again, 8 total touchdowns. They gave up 2 touchdowns in 3 of the last 5 games. So Gibbs anytime touchdown, I think that might cash in the first half, let alone first quarter. I might even switch that to a first half touchdown because I think that's how much I like that one.
Yeah.
My next one.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
No, I was just gonna say about that Giants defense. Let it be a lesson to you. You gotta earn your spot in this league. Remember when Abdul Carter came in the league?
Oh yeah, he wanted Lawrence. Yep.
He wanted Lawrence Taylor's jersey number, and then he wanted Phil Simms' jersey number, and then he went with 51. Was that kind of like to try to mix 56 and 11?
Yes.
Well, anyway, but he asking for the legendary Lawrence Taylor's number, and going into week, what was that? Week 11 last week.
Mm-hmm.
Abdul Carter. Wait, it's Abdul in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
Abdul Carter had a total on the season of 11 tackles and half a sack. Earn your spot, man. Don't be coming in here asking for legends. I'm gonna
play devil's advocate though. The numbers are not good. He does get a lot of pressures on the quarterback, but he hasn't been able to complete the deal and get sacks. But the reason I'm playing devil's advocate is one of the things that's not talked about. Malik Neighbors, number 1, was retired, and the Giants allowed him to get it, which opened up the floodgates for then Abdul Carter saying, oh, well, then I'm going to ask for a number. If the Giants had not done that for Malik Neighbors, I don't think that Abdul Carter would have any basis to ask for the number. Now, but I agree with you. You should be asking for Lawrence Taylor. That's like somebody get drafted to the 49ers and say, yo, Jerry, you think I can wear 80?
Yeah.
Fuck is you doing?
For real.
Fuck are you doing? Like, what you mean, can you wear 80? No.
Like, you go to the Patriots. I'm going to need that 12.
Yeah. I need that 12, man. What the fuck is you doing, right? So, but like you said, you got to produce more before you can even ask for a fucking number. All right. So Jahmyr Gibbs is my favorite one of this weekend. Anytime touchdown. Like I said, if you want to get greedy, pair it with Montgomery. They both probably going to get a touchdown. And they both probably going to run for over 50 yards this week. So maybe we're going to have to put a separate ticket just see what that looks like, Will.
Right.
And shout out to Trip. Trip commented on Instagram. He says he's going to be joining us shortly. He was actually on his way home.
All right.
My next one that I really like, and it's for the Thursday night game. Dalton Schultz, tight end from the Texans. They got his over under at 37.5 yards. He's their number 2 target behind Nico Collins. You look at Dalton Schultz the last couple games, last 3 games, Will. He's had 28 targets. He caught 19 of those targets. Against Denver, he had 77 yards. Against Jacksonville, he had 53 yards. And this past week against Tennessee, he had 51 yards. Buffalo is not a lights-out defense. And if you're the number 2 target, again, you're talking about a guy who got 28 targets over the last 3 games. He's going to get the targets. 37.5 yards, I think, is super low. That's one of them numbers that he might catch by the third quarter. By his third or fourth catch, he might already pass that number. Because, again, Buffalo is not a lights-out defense. Buffalo's going to give up some yardage. And Nico Collins being back is going to draw attention from the safeties. So I think the middle of the field is going to be open for Dalton Schultz.
Nico ate last week.
Right. I apologize to anybody who's watching on Instagram. I just got the alert. The live went out on Instagram. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm not able to get that back up. It'll be too late to the journey. I can't reconnect that.
Yeah.
But, and then my last one is a bit of a homer. It's the Colts game. Alex Pierce, this is great value on it. Over 3.5 catches is plus 136. Alex Pierce has started to become their number 1 target for Daniel Jones. Again, look at the numbers. His last 4 games, he's had 35 targets, 17 catches. If you want to look at the last 2 weeks specifically, 20 targets, 10 catches, over 200 yards. You can also pair it with his yardage because if you look again, he had a catch of 37. They didn't play this past week, but he had a catch of 37 yards in that Berlin game. And the week before that, he had a catch of 36 yards. So I think if you take his catches alone is plus money. 3.5 catches, he's going to get that. Again, he's getting the targets. He's getting 35 targets over the last 4 weeks. He has started to ascend. The only person that's seeing more targets than him is Tyler Warren, the tight end. So I like all 3 of those. I gave y'all the data behind it why I really like them. The one, we're going to wait. We're going to see if Tripp joins shortly. Like I said, the only one I'm really skeptical of these 9 is that Josh Allen 250 yards.
Yeah, it really feels like a 229 type game or something like that, you know? Like something, I don't know why. It just, in Thursday games, it's so weird, though. You never know what you're going to get on Thursday.
The Thursday games are weird. Let me see something here. Let me check something. Who does Buffalo have after this? Because that might play a factor in how they kind of call this game as well. I know they get a little bit of a break.
Oh, like as far as looking ahead?
Yeah, they get Pittsburgh after this, which can have major playoff implications.
Is Rodgers out?
Right now, he's a game time decision. And that's why that line on Pittsburgh is a little tricky because they got the Bears at 2.5 at home. I think if Rodgers doesn't play, that line's probably going to go up to like 5.5. That might be an additional 3 points on that one.
See, because that was initially part of the parlay. I was going to take the Bears straight up, but I was thinking Rodgers was out. Then that's easy. That's an easy bet if Rodgers is out. But
the last I heard was that Rodgers is probably going to be a game time decision, or that morning they'll make the decision. He did not practice today. They said he probably won't practice at all until Friday. And at that point, it's really just going to be about seeing if he's able to hold on to the ball and there's no pain or soreness, in his dropbacks and his throws. I do like the Bears, though. I thought about a team parlay that I really like as well. And I want to see what it looks like value-wise, because I think the Lions win this week. I think Seattle wins this week. I think where's the other one that I like this week? Ravens win this week.
Yeah.
There's like 5 teams that I just think that is like this. I think the Browns win this week. And I think the Rams. I think one of the stories that's not being talked about, I think something's wrong with Baker Mayfield. I think he might be hurt. I think he might be hurt and they're not really talking about it. Because I've noticed when they was playing Buffalo last week, there was a couple opportunities for him to scramble and he wouldn't run. And early in the season, that was kind of his calling card. Like he would extend plays, he would scramble around. But against Buffalo, you look back some of the highlights, he took some unnecessary hits because he just wouldn't run. He was almost like he was timid to leave the pocket. So there are going to be a lot of people who's going to give the Buccaneers credit and be like, oh, 7 points is a lot against the Rams. I know the Rams coming off that big win against Seattle. I think the Rams are going to smoke them.
Bucky Irvin might be back too.
Bucky might be back, but they still banged up at receiver. Mike Evans is still out. Chris Godwin has been in and out the lineup. That kid, Tez Johnson, pretty much been their number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams smoked them this week. Sunday night game at home.
Yeah, I picked the Rams.
Yeah. So I think there's potential for a 5-leg parlay of teams that we think are going to win. Now, on the flip side, you and I have a couple underdogs that we both like. You and I both like the Browns.
Browns, yeah.
You and I both like the Colts.
Yep.
What's the other one I saw? Browns, Colts, Panthers.
I think I took Atlanta against the Saints too.
No, I got you down with the Saints. I was flip flopping on that game because I think Atlanta's better, but Kirk Cousins is gonna play. Remember, Penix is done for the year.
Right.
I don't know if I want to trust Kirk Cousins.
Who did I send you? The Saints?
Yeah, you said the Saints.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I flip flop for the podcast. I marked off the Falcons, but I was kind of like, I don't know if I really want to trust them with Kurt, because Kurt is washed up.
Yeah, he showed that a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm gonna on come Sunday though. I'm gonna probably send you a ticket with a couple teams that like underdogs. Because let me see actually what it looks like right now. Because I wonder if we just take the Colts, the Panthers, and who was the other one we said? And the Browns. Let me see what that looks like. Colts is plus 156.
Oh, I know one I liked.
Browns is plus 176.
Didn't I take Arizona?
You have Arizona. That's another game I flip-flopped on.
That was one of my upsets right there.
If you take Colts, Browns, Panthers, that 3-leg parlay of underdogs just to win outright, that's plus 2,500. $10 get you $258.
$250. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then if you really listen, if you really feeling spicy, you take Colts, Browns, Panthers. You're gonna like this right here. And then we're gonna throw one anytime touchdown from them teams. So I'm gonna throw Rico Dowdle for the Panthers. You could throw running backs, honestly. You could throw Judkins in for Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
You get plus 100 on Judkins too. Anytime touchdown. And then anytime touchdown, Jonathan Taylor. Tim bring you back 567.
Damn.
So you take each underdog to win with their running back to score a touchdown. I like that one.
That's a nice little ticket right there.
I like that one.
Yeah, I'm playing that for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on that. I like that one though. We're gonna circle back to that on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
But I like that one. All right, so let's do this. We're waiting for Trip. What can we, if we want to substitute Josh Allen, what quarterback should we put in there?
For 250?
Yeah.
Shit. May.
Yeah, Drake May, probably. I was thinking that probably makes the most sense. He's throwing for 3 touchdowns. Let's see what his number looks like if they got it up there. I'm thinking either Drake May or Sam Darnold.
They got
Tennessee.
Oh yeah, he could light them up.
So Drake May to throw 250 is minus 118. Bro, let me hold on, man. Since we talking about this, let's see if we can because
What was
this is one
Josh
of the
Allen on?
I'm gonna check right now. Josh Allen to throw for 250. That's plus money, plus 168. See, even the
Even
odds don't think
Vegas
he's gonna
know
get to
they
that.
don't. Yeah,
They
they
don't
not.
even think he's gonna get to that.
Nah,
You
they
get
not.
you pretty much 200 yards is minus 230, and then it takes a major dip because for him to get to 225, as you talked about, that's minus 114. That's pretty much where they're expecting this line to be.
Yeah, I like 225, but I don't like 250. Even though that's 25 yards, I 250 just sounds very lofty.
Yeah, especially if they get off to a slow start against that defense, because then you trying to play catch up the rest of the game.
Did
Let's
you see? Did you see that? Um, Joe Burrow was a full participant in practice today.
Yeah, so Joe Burrow I think towards the end of last week was at practice, and now he's a full participant. Has he officially been cleared?
That I don't know. I don't even know if he was like taking number one reps today. But full participant, like, dang, that's we ain't see. I didn't think he was going to try to come back, especially with the record it being what it is.
So
I wouldn't get back behind that line again.
yeah, I don't think I would either. They are 3-7. It makes absolutely no sense for Joe Burrow to play.
Yeah, none. That's what I'm like. What?
I'm putting together the parlay right here because this is one of the few times that FanDuel has actually had all the odds up already.
Oh, are they for every game?
Just about. I'm looking through it right now.
Yeah, because that's been my complaint. Because they be waiting for Thursday usually to put everything up. And they do most of, not all the player props, but
I'm trying to go through them right now. That Drake made 3 touchdowns is plus 225.
yeah, I don't even think that's. I think they giving them. They sleeping on that.
Let
When I
me
saw
see.
that, that's why I
Let me
jumped
see if
them.
I can add the Kittle on here because they might not have the Monday prop. No, they got it. Kittle's plus 130 to score a touchdown.
Yeah, all of it's plus money that I gave.
You were able to find it already then.
Yeah, I had that
All
earlier.
right. Let's see. Alex Pierce, Gibbs, touchdown. What am I missing on here?
Schultz.
Yeah, I put Schultz. Hold on. I'm gonna go back through it right now. The Gibbs touchdown is the only thing that's not up here. They haven't put up the odds for touchdowns yet.
That Gibbs would probably be like minus 120.
So I got, let's see. What legs am I missing here? Oh, Derrick Henry. Let me put that on here. Let's see. Derrick Henry, 70 yards rushing. So we just need to substitute the Josh Allen. And like I said, the Gibbs doesn't show up. But these 7 legs, the Alex Pierce over 3.5 receptions, Jonathan Taylor, first half TD scorer, James Cook, anytime scorer, Dalton Schultz, over 37.5, Drake made 3 touchdowns, George Kittle, anytime touchdown, and Derrick Henry, 70 yards. Again, the only 2 things missing is Gibbs, anytime touchdown, because it doesn't have a prop. And we were saying put the Drake May for 250, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what that looks like. That'll be pretty much 8 of the 9 legs, and let's see what it looks like. Drake made 250 is actually minus 122, so they expect him to light it up this week.
Okay.
So just those 8 legs minus Jahmyr Gibbs, $10 would get us back 17.15.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's missing the legs.
Right. That's missing, like I said, whatever. That's missing a Gibbs touchdown.
Okay. So that's gonna boost that a little bit. I think that's looking decent. I don't know about you. I'm liking this one.
I am too. I'm noting it here. Like I said, I think that's what we're gonna go with. We're gonna substitute Josh Allen for Drake May. Is the Monday night. If we get through, everything will be done by the Sunday night game. So if we get to Sunday night, we might just be looking at one leg to cash in right there.
Well, the buyout gonna be crazy.
On 1,700 with one leg left, the buyout gotta at least be 1,000.
Yeah, the buyout be crazy, but we gotta ride it out at that point though. Before we waiting on this Kittle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is if we get to that point where it's just that one leg left, I mean, you might as well at least play it out to the first half of the game.
Yeah.
And see what it's looking like. Well, let's go ahead. We can wrap up for the night, man. It's slow in the comment section. And like I said, we lost connection on IG.
Oh, okay.
I meant to ask you, what do you want to do for next week? It's Thanksgiving next week. Should we record on Wednesday or do you want to wait?
I should be available, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying? I should be available though, if you are.
All right. Yeah,
we'll
play by ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hosting Thanksgiving at home, so I'll be fine.
Yeah, I ain't going there.
So yeah, let's we'll play it by ear. If anything changes, we'll update it online. But for now, we are going to record next week. Will, give me a final thought.
The NBA, man. I'm like a lot of people criticizing it, but I don't know if it's that it's back on NBC and Peacock, and I'm liking the coverage. But I'm kind of into the NBA before Christmas this year, and maybe it's the gambling aspect. Maybe it's stars are starting to show up, and it's some young players starting to make names for themselves, and then you got guys like Steph putting on the show every night, and the Stephs, the Lucas, it's the NBA is in great shape right now, and it's kind of even with stars being injured. There's no Jason Tatum. There's no, it's even though it's not at full. Dame's not even playing, right? Dame's out. It's
a lot of stars out.
A lot of names around the league out, but it's still you're still finding good basketball. And shout out to my rookie. It should have been a damn Wizard. Shout out to the kid that was talking about the Wizards a couple weeks ago. Dirk, now, and Eric, you can attest to it. When the lottery balls fell as they did, and we got the 6th pick in the draft, I said, well, Derek Queen it is then, because, there was a no-brainer. A homegrown kid from Baltimore, went to Maryland, super skilled. Why not? Didn't take him. Now you see him down in New Orleans, looking like he's going to be the truth, which I knew he was going to be. Another miss by the Wizards. But the NBA is looking great, and I think that's very encouraging.
I agree. NBA has been great so far. I think it's been a combination. As you said, the gambling is playing a factor in it. But I think also because now we have the opportunity to watch on different platforms. And I was a little skeptical at first, but like you said, it's not the same broadcast every night. You got an ESPN tonight, you got an Amazon Prime some nights, you got the NBC telecast some nights. So it kind of gives you a fresh perspective with these games and different voices. And I think that the NBC crew has been great, having Jamal Crawford over there, Carmelo Anthony, the segments with Michael Jordan. I thought it's been a great mix over there on NBC. So I've enjoyed that as well. As always, I want to thank the supporters, man. Continue to rock with us. Next week, we will be back on Wednesday. Like I said, if anything changes, we'll post it because obviously the night before Thanksgiving. So sometimes things change. Sometimes plans come up. And then Trip and I will be live on Monday at 7 p.m. Make sure you lock in and subscribe to Real Fans Real Talk and The Sanchez Show. But for my brother, Will Gordon, I am Eric Sanchez. We're going to post the picks this week, Will. We keep saying it. This week, we're going to post the picks. Like I said, that's a $10 to $1,700. We want the people to know we're about to come into this money right now.
Yes, sir.
All right. For my brother, Will, I am Eric Sanchez. We are the opinionated ones, part of The Sanchez Show. We'll see you guys next week. We out of here.